Well, number one is just this. You can't unhear what you have heard. Narcissists know this. They understand it. So you've heard about love bombing and what I call love bonding. Now let's talk about mind bombing and mind bonding. So the narcissist will bomb your mind with thoughts. Where do those thoughts come from? Well, things they say, things they do, things that they have you see, that you witness. They are putting those thoughts in your mind. They are mind bombing you so they can mind bond you. That is to say, they control your mind by putting thoughts inside your head. How'd those thoughts get in there? The narcissist put them in there. You didn't create those thoughts. He or she did. So we understand we have two thinking processes. There is external and there is internal. So external, we really can't control it that much. We can control it some by what we expose ourselves to, when and if we have a choice. And a lot of times we have more choices than we realize. The narcissist understands that. That's what the love bombing stage is all about, because he or she wants us to put ourselves in a position where we expose ourselves to the thoughts that he or she puts into our head through thoughts, or through a speech rather, or through things they do, things we witness, things we hear, things we see. All right, so now they get our head full of, what do we call this? Let's come up with a term for it. Let's call it narcissistic crap. We got all this narcissistic crap in our mind, and before we knew it, they're controlling our minds, and we let them do it because they were love bombing us and we trusted them. We were vulnerable. We did not understand what was happening. Now, number two is this, and you really got to hear this because it's important. And we're going to tie this all together in just a moment. But what you think controls your life. So the narcissist puts thoughts in your mind so he or she can control your life. Okay, I'm not going to repeat that. I think you got it. So let's phrase it this way. And please hang on to this. What we dwell on, we internalize. And what we internalize, that's what we become. Okay, that I'm going to repeat. What we dwell on, we internalize. And what we internalize, we become. The key word here is dwell, or dwell upon. So the narcissist puts thoughts in our minds, so we will dwell upon those. So we will internalize them, so he or she will control our lives because we have become what he or she wants to make us. We are kind of like putty in their hands, figuratively speaking. They are literally controlling us, thought control. And again, you join a cult, same thing happens. First thing they want to do is divorce you from the outside world so they can have all the external input into our mind. Yeah, there's two ways of thinking. External thoughts and internal thoughts. External thoughts, what other people put in. Internal thoughts, what we put in. They want to control that internal part. So they want to make sure that they are the only ones putting thoughts into our mind. That's what cults do. That's what narcissists do. That's why I call narcissists one-person cults. So we're dwelling on those thoughts. We're ruminating. They may make us angry, so we respond or react with rage, or we try to get back at them. And this is evidence that they're inside our head. Now, what are we going to do? Because they're controlling our life with these thoughts that they have implanted, knowing that we can't unhear what we've heard, can't unsee what we've seen, can't unexperience what we've experienced. But number three is this. You can control your thoughts. Hard to do if you're in a cult, hard to do if you're in the presence of a narcissist 24/7. But what happens when you escape? I mean, even a little bit. Then you can begin to form your own thoughts. Let's think in terms of positive versus negative. I know it sounds like that positive thinking stuff here, but in a sense it kind of is. So you have these negative thoughts, these self-depreciating thoughts that the narcissist has put in your head, and you need to counter those with more thoughts, because the thoughts they put in your head you can't get rid of. We like to talk about a crease in the gray matter. The gray matter being your brain. That's not science, it's figurative, but yeah, they put creases in our gray matter. Well, let's put our own creases in our gray matter. We can't get rid of the ones they put in, but we can add. And what if we outnumber them? Okay, think in these terms. I think this is a pretty good analogy. But let's say that you're at a ball game. You guys like football, basketball, whatever. And let's go with basketball. It really doesn't matter, but there's a bunch of cheerleaders and they're cheering on the opposing team. And man, are they loud. And they got the other fans from the other team up and shouting. Reality is nobody pays attention to cheerleaders, but that's beside the point. All right, now, what happens if your cheerleaders, the ones who are cheering on your team and trying to get you and the fans for your team up and excited, and so you start shouting louder? That's 90% of the fun of going to a ball game. Is everybody's into it, everybody's yelling, everybody's shouting. Well, think of the narcissist as the cheerleader for the opposing team. And think of yourself as your own cheerleader for your team. And you don't have to sit there and be quiet. I mean, we're talking about thinking, not verbal noise, even though you can make verbal noise if you want to. I mean, you can literally physically talk to yourself if you want to. So what we do is we begin to take ownership, let me phrase it that way, of internal thoughts. Can't control external thoughts a lot, but we can some. But we can control our internal thoughts by thinking new thoughts, creating new creases in our gray matter. Hey, wait a minute, that's what you're doing right now. By listening to this video, you are creating new thoughts, counteracting the thoughts put in your mind by the narcissist. And guess what? It actually works. I mean, it works. We simply outshout the narcissist in our mind. And again, you can say words out loud if you want to. People think you're crazy, but you might do it alone in your car or whatever. And instead of saying self-depreciating thoughts or negative thoughts or ruminating and saying things like, that guy's a jerk, or I'm going to get him back, I'm going to pay him back, what if you say reaffirming thoughts? You know, I'm onto this guy. I'm not as stupid as he or she thought I was. Those are reaffirming thoughts. I've got a life to live. I've got stuff going on the narcissist knows nothing about. I understand what he's doing now or she's doing now. All of these are reaffirming thoughts that are replacing the control thoughts that the narcissist put in externally. So now we are countering those internally, only we've got more of them, and guess what? They are louder. So if you're in a cult, some cults have mantras. They want you to say mantras over and over and over and over again in your mind. Why? Because they want to occupy your thinking process. That's what the narcissist wants to do. He wants you to have something that is akin to mantras. And a lot of narcissists, they're so dumb they don't even know they're doing it, but they are. Ruminating. That's like saying mantras from a cult. These thoughts rolling over and over and over in your mind. So number 4 is you can't replace harmful thoughts. You can suppress them, but you can absolutely outshout them. It's tough if you're in a concentration camp. I admit that. It's tough if you were in a cult compound somewhere. Yeah, we understand that. But even there's freedom of thought. You know, they can't control you 24/7. And you're not in a concentration camp. I hope. You're not in a cult. I don't think you are. You're in this one-person cult, and it's not as controlling as you think it is unless you ruminate and keep these thoughts at the front of your mind all the time. And yeah, it's okay to face reality. It's okay to tell yourself, remind yourself that you got screwed over. But you don't have to dwell on it. You know, you can replace those thoughts with your own thinking. So let's tie this all together. And what we say is this: we don't want to be dismissive. We don't want to deny reality. I don't want to get rid of those thoughts altogether. I want to remember what the narcissist said and what he did, he or she. I want to remember those experiences so I don't make those same mistakes again. So that gives me an awareness of what's going on. You know, it's kind of like handling counterfeit money. The more you handle it, the more you recognize it. But you also need to handle real money so you can tell the difference. And you need to handle more real money than you do counterfeit money. So let's handle more real, positive, self-esteem generating thoughts that break us free of those thoughts implanted by the narcissist. So the takeaway is, the tie together is, don't be dismissive of reality, but take control of your thoughts and reform your reality because, as we said earlier, what you think, what you dwell on, is what we internalize. And what we internalize is what we become. So what you think today is what you will become tomorrow. There's a red dot lower right hand of your screen. Click on that dot to subscribe to our YouTube channel, be a part of our family. There's a rectangle upper left hand corner. Click on that and we'll keep on talking. That's our library of past videos, and we'll see you all next time.